Don't give a fuck.
What do you mean, dude? Those guys are insane.
No,
bro.
I put them on the same page as the slap boxers. Don't give a fuck.
Really? You don't like the slap boxing?
Don't give a fuck.
Dude, the slap boxing is legit.
Yeah. Do something
Really?
real. No.
What?
Do a real sport. All right. Is there a way to edit out the sound of a fart? Can you like fade it out of the background?
Yeah, we could probably enhance it.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I had this other fucking idea.
Yeah.
This happened to me in the shower the other day too. I get a lot of ideas in the shower. Does that happen to you?
Yeah. No, that's real, dude. There's science behind that. No,
Yeah.
honestly, usually in the shower, I'm going, God damn it, I shouldn't even gotten out of bed today.
All right, dude, I think a lot in the shower.
Yeah, I try not to.
This might as well be a recycling can at this point.
Yeah. I got a pile of cans out by the wood pile because I'm too lazy of taking the cans and bringing it up to the recycling. So it's just like there's 17 years of beer cans back there.
All right, you want to hear this other fucking idea I had?
Yeah.
So here it is. Here's another thing. Here's another reason why I want a podcast or something. This is going to be a book, though. So I've already got like 4 new book ideas since I started writing this first book.
Yeah.
So I was sitting. Oh, this wasn't in the shower. No, I was actually eating my lunch the other day, and I was sitting at my dining room table, and I was eating my lunch by myself. And Carrie was in the kitchen, and she was ignoring me like normal. And my youngest daughter was on the couch, also ignoring me, and she was on her tablet or something. And I was like contemplating. I was thinking about how families these days just ignore each other, right?
Yeah.
Right. And I was eating, and I'm like,
that's a whole podcast in itself.
Man. And I'm like, no one's even paying attention to me eating, and we're not paying attention to each other. So I was like, what if I got up from this meal and went and kissed my daughter goodnight, and I went in the kitchen and I tried to kiss my wife goodnight. And as I try to kiss her, maybe she turns her cheek a little bit, maybe she doesn't, whatever.
Right. But maybe she's being coy, who knows?
Right, and nobody really pays attention to me. And I go to bed, and I kiss my family goodnight, and I say my goodnights, and I tuck them in, just like I've done every night for the past 5 years, right? And I go to bed, and I wake up and to an empty house, and they're gone. And they must have all gone to school or something. School and work, right?
Yeah.
It must be the thing. And we repeat this pattern night after night after night, and I tuck my family in. I mean, I've noticed that the only one in my house that will pay me any attention is my youngest daughter, right? And sometimes she says to me, "Good night, Daddy. I love you." And I say, "Good night. I love you too."
It's not gonna last for long.
Right?
Yeah.
But here's the thing. And I've gone through this night, this routine, this ritual, night after night after night, only to lay in bed and remember that they've all died 5 years prior.
Oh, shit.
Oh, shit. What the? Boom.
Right. Jesus Christ. You got to work like ketamine therapy. I don't know. Like, that to me is like, who's that Irish guy that always plays the American? And he's always like, oh,
Liam Neeson?
Yeah, Liam Neeson. Yeah.
You didn't have to say much.
Right. That's a Liam Neeson movie where it's like he's doing ketamine therapy. He's on Quaaludes. I don't know, but he's tripping out, not sure what's going on. That's some sick shit. Yeah. But here's the problem: you wrote a book about cheating on your wife. So you got all these book ideas, and you did you wrote this shit ass.
Dude, it's not shit.
Skip it.
It's not shit. He's cheating on his wife with a demon. He's cheating on his wife with a demon. Oh
my God.
With a demon. That he kills at the end, or he tries to anyways.
Brother, you are just stroking it over there.
Dude, he cheats on his wife with a demon who he had a precognitive fucking dream about meeting. Right?
Why don't you go back into the biblical times where it was like reincarnation and they had an abortion?
Well, essentially, so he starts fucking this demon who's sent just to tempt him.
Yeah.
Of course he fails. He falls into temptation.
Yeah. They're called succubus.
Yes, the succubus.
Yeah.
That's what she is, a succubus.
Yes.
He fucks a succubus.
Wow.
Right?
Right.
I was going to say it earlier. I didn't know if you knew the word.
I knew the word. Yeah.
And then at the end, he's drowning the succubus in a shallow body of water.
Right.
And he's staring at her in the eyes.
Yeah.
And he realizes this is the vision he had at the beginning.
Right.
He envisioned himself drowning the succubus in the beginning.
Right. I'm pretty sure there is places in Las Vegas where you and your wife can go and you can fuck in a sensory deprivation chamber.
Yes, there we go.
That's what you're looking for, dog.
Yeah, maybe.
Like, there's a solution.
But how can you say it's a shit book? That's a great idea.
It's a terrible book.
That's a great idea. All right.
I want the Liam Neeson. My kids have been dead for 5 years, but I see him every day because I'm doing ketamine therapy and Quaaludes.
All right. So is it that? It's that. Or I've been dead for 5 years.
Yeah.
And I'm still saying goodnight to my family, right? And they don't know I exist. But I'm in the house trapped doing this fucking same routine day in and day out. And am I the one that's dead? Yeah. So one or the other. Either the family passed away, they're dead, and you're living this lonely life of, your self-deprivation. You're living alone. You're, drinking every day. You don't explain right away why you're a fucking insane alcoholic or why you never leave the house. But then come to find out that you're just wallowing in misery of your dead family. Or are you the one that's fucking dead?
Right.
And I thought of this.
I would do a couple of different endings and then just be surprised.
Well, it's two different stories completely.
Maybe this guy, and that's kind of how you do it. It's like, this is some Tarantino shit, right? So it's like, basically people think they're watching a movie that's one storyline, but you break it up into like actually two storylines. You have both endings and then people are really fucking confused.
Yeah, fucking A.
Yeah, because you could have the one story where it's like, oh, he's the walling the misery, and the other one where it's like, he killed him or something like that.
Would you join your daughter in death? Like when you saw your daughter alone, would you join her? No matter what side she was on, would you rejoin the living or the dead to be with her and guide her? And I did. I did in my vision.
I think that's one of those things because, like, I don't have any kids, right? Yeah. Like, I just can't even wrap my head around it. I don't think anybody who doesn't have kids can even wrap their head around that because it's one of those things where it's like an inside joke, where it's like you say the inside joke, the people who are on the inside of the joke, they all laugh, right?
Yeah.
Well, if you're not on the inside of the joke, it's like, well, what the fuck was that? That was dumb as hell, right?
Yeah.
Where it's you have to have that experience knowing I just don't have that.
Yeah.
Where it's like I can understand that.
And it wasn't even a thought, dude.
Yeah.
I didn't know if I thought she was alive. And I thought I was going back to join her. It wasn't even a thought the other way. And it didn't matter to me. Either way, I was going to keep her safe.
Right.
And then when I realized, I'm like, fuck, she was dead. I just joined the dead, to keep her safe.
Damn. And that's a beautiful thing, man. That's very profound. Have you seen these fucks on the internet that are like, oh, here's a picture of like a field of grass, and like, oh, that's in Kazakhstan. They're like in the northern region. Northern region.
What?
Oh, dude, there's these guys that train like 12 hours a day of just like looking at pictures and figuring out where it was taken.
Get the fuck out of here.
And these guys can get within like 100 miles.
Get the fuck out of here.
And like it's like 20, like not even 20 seconds. They do competitions. So they show you a picture and then they give you the map and like you score points based on how fast you find it. So the longer you take, the less points you score.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck.
And these guys just spend all day on Google Maps.
Dude, we can cover those guys.
Yeah.
Here we go. What do we think of those guys? Don't give a fuck.
What do you mean, dude? Those guys are insane.
No, I put them on the same page as the slap boxers. Don't give a fuck.
Really? You don't like the slap boxing?
Don't give a fuck.
Dude, the slap boxing is legit.
Yeah. Do something real. No.
What,
do a real sport.
Like what kind of sport?
Like what are you doing? You're just stand there and let another grown man slap you? Get the fuck out of here.
Fuck, dude. You can't be
move.
You can't be
flinch, duck, dodge, box.
You can't be break my glass here right now.
Dude, come on. You're a slap boxer?
No, I liked it, but now you're like, oh, you're just gonna sit there and now I don't like it.
Yeah, you can't like it.
Fucking
what's to like?
For me. You know what?
Like even gladiators, when the lion came out of the fucking cage, you didn't just sit there and get eaten. You fought back.
Right.
It's in our nature to fight back. Like, what kind of
Yeah.
sport tells you
But
to
isn't it
take it?
great when one of those guys just get fucking smacked in the face?
I'm not saying it's not entertaining to watch. Never said that.
I think it's great for TikTok.
Yeah, never said it. It wasn't. It's not that it's not entertaining to watch. You watch a guy get smacked in the face and just go out like a light.
Right.
It's hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
But do I respect it? No.
Yeah.
You know, if somebody's like, do you want to become the next great slap boxer? Fuck no.
Not really.
Take the word slap out of it once.
Yeah.
You know, nobody,
But
we wouldn't be talking about Muhammad Ali if he was a slap boxer.
Yeah, you're right. But you know what? When they put that talcum powder on, then
Right.
Poof.
Well,
man.
Okay, 50 years from now,
Yeah,
tell me what great slap boxer we're going to be watching on fucking ESPN.
Oh, none of them.
Right.
None
None
of
of
them. Yeah. You can't captivate.
No.
It's like, look, people said the world stopped when Mike Tyson fought. And then, like, honestly, this Jake Paul thing, like, it did stop.
It did. It stopped.
Yeah.
Everyone stopped to watch this fight.
Yeah. It did. He did it again.
Because no one knows what Mike Tyson's going to do.
Yeah. But I'm not catching the next, like, slap box fight.
Yeah.
Like, I'll just see it when it pops up in my TikTok feed. Yeah.
It comes through, you'll glance at it.
There's an argument there to be made that it's overhyped.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Yeah. But personally, I still do enjoy it.
I'm not saying you can't enjoy it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you can't enjoy it.
Yeah, no, I'm just a little more ashamed than I was before.
Yeah, you were just trying to throw it up there with other fucking sports, and I had to it was course correction.
Yeah.
We had to
exactly.
put it in a reality check.
Right.
You know,
Have I showed you my sword?
You didn't? You didn't?
I haven't showed you my sword?
No, I've been here for like 4 hours. And it's the first I've heard of a sword.
Oh, shit, dude.
Yeah, I feel like I may lose a limb.
I was going to take it out earlier, but one of my first experiences with politics was two guys talking at the gas station, and they were discussing like the technicalities around Bill Clinton fucking Hillary Clinton. You know what I mean? What's the time period between it? And it was like they got thorough with it. And that was my first introductory period into politics.
Bill fucking Hillary.
So yeah, and that's the thing is, when was the last time you think they fucked?
A long time ago.
Long time ago. It's got to be. It's got to be.
Well, if you listen to all the conspiracy theorists, they fuck a lot, just not each other. They fuck kids.
Yeah, that's the thing. And that's kind of where I draw the line. You know, I hate to be that guy, but that's kind of where I draw the line, is at the fucking up the kids. You know
Wait.
I hate to be that guy. I don't want to be the guy that kind of puts myself out there and says, crazy shit like that. But that's kind of where you got to draw the line.
Well, the fun isn't in fucking the kids; it's in trafficking them.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's the challenge.
How
do I get them across this border?
Right. They're not doing it for the money. They're not doing it because like they like it or something. They're doing it for the challenge, and that's kind of, we got to get people out here that aren't willing to take on a challenge. You know? And that's a problem.
And then where can I cut a kid and stuff drugs under its skin so I can? It's a twofer.
Yeah.
It's a twofer.
It's a twofer. And the thing
I'm going to traffic this child, and I'm going to use it as a drug
as a drug mule. And that's corporate America making its way into the underground. And let's face it, and we can all agree corporate America is no good. So I just want to keep the corporate America out of the child sex trafficking.
Keep it pure.
Yeah, because it's the thing is when you muddy the waters, it's just it gets people confused.
Yeah, we don't want to muddy those waters.
And the thing is like people say I'm a bright guy, but I don't think I'm that bright. And the thing is, when it starts getting into the corporate of the sexual trafficking and the P. Diddy, it just gets too much. Let's keep the criminals, and let's keep the normal people normal.
Well, I'll take it more corporate for you. So, my first thought is, how do we extend the shelf life of these trafficked children?
Right.
They got to be worth more than, $700.
Right.
By the time they're fucking 8 years old, they're getting tossed to the curb. That's not right. But essentially a kid starts getting fucked at 3.
Yeah.
No, by the time they're 8, they're just fucking...
Right. It's just like...
what do they do? They murder them and throw them away?
Well, it's like, have you seen The Tiger King? I didn't really watch it, but I saw a clip where the guy was like, hey, little baby tiger cubs, you can make $250,000 on. But when they're like 6 months, a year old, they're worthless because they're dangerous. And that's kind of the model that the sex trafficking guys are using.
I get that.
Which is kind of smart, but also at the same time pretty fucked up, Yeah,
they do become dangerous when they can recognize your face.
Right.
Yeah, we're definitely not punched into this challenge like we could be.
Right. Here's the problem. This is what I'm worried about. Is we're going to start making plans and it's going to ruin it.
What's going to ruin it?
The plans. Where this is natural,
So you're worried about making plans a podcast and not having it natural.
Yeah, so here's the problem, right? So I started watching like Joe Rogan when it was like he had like 10,000 viewers, you know what I mean? And that was dope because it was always wild, it was raw, it was all just like, it wasn't, now you watch Joe Rogan today, it's so crisp and clean and it's just like, I don't care who he's interviewing, it just sounds like the same thing to me, you know what I mean?
Well, that's the thing, he became an interviewer.
He became like too mainstream, But yeah, so what do you mean he became an interviewer, right?
Well, that's what he does.
Right.
So, when Joe Rogan first started, it was him and his buddies.
Right.
And they kind of did what we're talking about. They just talk shit.
Right.
And they talked about ideas. And Joe Rogan, he's good at he researches his ideas and
right.
And then he went the next step. He's like, you know what? I'm going to have people who also have ideas about these ideas.
Right.
And then that turned into, I'm going to interview, I guess, what we would deem as professionals on these ideas.
Right.
And now at this point, he's essentially just an interviewer.
Right. But every time he made those changes, it was groundbreaking, right? And it was new, it was fresh.
Well, it wasn't new. It was just new in the space of podcast.
Yeah.
And it was new in the space of Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
Right? He was a comedian. Right. Not a good one. Not a good one.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
That's a bold that's the first bold statement.
Have you seen the stand-up?
Yeah. God. It was like, what the fuck was that?
I mean, he's a much better podcaster than a stand-up comedian.
Agreed. And I think he knows it.
Yeah, he knows it.
Yeah.
But, he kind of led the way. But here's the problem. I don't think he led the way. He's good.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. He's a good interviewer.
Yeah.
He might as well have a fucking nightly spot on NBC.
You can make the argument he's the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But is he the best because of who he is? Because he's rich now and because he's a name, right? So people are just, what do you mean? Oh, we all like Joe Rogan.
Yeah. Whole Portnoy thing we're talking about earlier.
Do you really like Joe Rogan? Or is it just because it's Joe Rogan?
I used to like Joe Rogan. And honestly, I feel like I was one of the earliest adopters of like putting the Joe Rogan to the side. It's just like, well, you're sitting around one day and you're like, this is just not even close to what it used to be.
Yeah. You might as well be watching NBC or ABC or any other nightly news show.
At the end of the year, he does a podcast with this guy. He's got like a gold claim up in the Yukon or like in Alaska or something, right? Where he finds all these old bones for like mammals and stuff. And that guy's a little bit on the fringe. I like that podcast. I look forward to that podcast every year. I have to wait every year for it to come out, right? He has them on every year. So he had a bunch of bones. He found them, like gave them to like a school in New York, and the school in New York just ended up just dumping them into the river. Jesus. And he had documents of it, right? And then they actually dived into the river and they found the bones.
Jesus.
So, but like, and the school the whole time is like, they're not there. We didn't dump them in the river. And like, that never happened. We have no documents of that. There's no, there's no trace of that. Yeah. Somebody goes down there in scuba gear. He goes, oh, here's one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and Rogan, he started podcasting with a leg up.
Yeah.
It was this weird thing with podcasting. I'm not a huge podcast historian. I know when it started, it was like a regular person thing.
Yeah.
Right? Nobody's were doing podcasts. So like us, much like us. Right? And
it was more of a gimmick. It was like Joe Rogan's podcasting. I got to see what this is about.
Well, they didn't think it was going to really be anything because it was, you had, people in Chicago. They had the the pot show. They just talk about
Right.
smoking weed all day, and they'd smoke weed on air, right? And,
like getting Doug with high or getting high with Doug or something like
Right.
that.
But
Marijuana Man,
you had podcasts about fucking books and planting herbs and this and that, whatever it may be.
Right.
And it was just regular fucking people talking about regular fucking shit, right?
Yeah.
And they had audiences who, people who were into that. They were like, I like choking fucking puppies, right? I want to listen to the Choking Puppy Show, right? But then you had these comedians, especially who've taken it over, who've realized that we can use our names to draw audiences.
Yeah.
And then some of them do a good job, I think. Some of them
I
just
would agree. Yeah.
keep it to like talking bullshit.
Yeah.
Which is what I personally like. But then Rogan, he stepped it up. He leveled up the game. And he's been successful at it, but
I give him props. I love what he done. It's just like the more it appeals to the masses, the more I'm like, all right, it's just not for me. But I don't know. It's an interesting thing. It's like, who's that guy that had the late? It was like Johnny Carson, Jay Leno, and there's another
the
guy.
Tonight Show?
He was that old fucker, and he was always like, he had a real deep voice. He was a Jewish guy, and he'd always be like, what kind of iron do you use in your...
I was thinking Letterman. It doesn't sound like Letterman.
No, it wasn't Letterman. Shit, I can't... If I showed you a picture of him, you know him right away. He's one of the other ones. It wasn't like a comedy guy. He was just like... He was more of a serious dude. He was always like... He never learned anything from talking. You always got to listen. And then he would talk for 45 minutes.
I don't know.
I can't remember that guy's name.
But either way, that's the problem. I mean, that's what Joe Rogan, that's why I say he's become an interviewer. And you might argue that he has interesting interviews.
Yeah.
But when we really listen to him, he doesn't pull anything new. So, like, I heard he interviewed Donald Trump. So I listened to it.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm going to listen to this. And all it is, Joe Rogan says swear words on it, right?
Yeah.
Well, okay. But other than that, he interviewed Trump just like anybody else would, other than he said fuck every now and again.
Right.
And I'm like, hey, I didn't get anything new. And when you
yeah.
watch, he interviewed Mike Tyson multiple times.
Yeah.
And Joe Rogan didn't even pull out the fact, he couldn't even discern the fact that Mike Tyson was about to throw a fight with Jake Paul. Right. And he did. We all know he did.
Right.
So I don't know. He's just an interviewer.
Yeah.
He's talented. He's got connections. He's got money.
Right.
He's got a hook, but that's all it is.
It's like him and like three other guys. It's like him. They got the guy they're interviewing, the guy that works all the equipment. You know what I mean? It's like he doesn't have to do a whole lot to produce like a quality piece of content that people are going to look to. You know what I mean? He doesn't have to work that hard anymore.
Well, here's the thing.
Yeah. It's
content that people like. And this is where I think you and I might struggle.
Right.
There's what I don't give enough respect to the masses. I know I don't. I think too many people are like me, and they're not. Mm-hmm. Right? More people, I don't want to say it, people, but more people are fucking dullards than I would like to think there are.
Right.
Like, they just want to be entertained. They just want to hear nonsensical bullshit. It's wrong to fuck children in the ass. Well, no shit, it's wrong to fuck kids in the ass. But can we joke about it? Right. Can we laugh about it? Is there something funny about fucking kids in the ass?
Right.
Like when you listen to, the two guys that I listen to who I think somebody could learn from is, It's, I can't remember names either because I'm not completely sober.
Right.
Whatever.
Fuck him,
the Two Bears podcast.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Shit, I can't remember the name. Oh, fuck. Bert Kreischer. I can't remember the
Is it Dave something? Dave something? Whatever. A lot of disrespect to this guy. Dave something, Ed something, whatever.
Yeah.
But those guys...
Which is fucked up because I like the other guy better than I like Bert, but I can't remember his name. Yeah.
But when they get rolling, you can tell when it's really scripted. But when they get rolling, they actually put out some all right content.
Yeah.
And they just start kind of bullshitting about weird stuff.
Yeah.
Bert likes to drink, and the other guy teases him for it.
Right. Yeah. It's a good time. No, I like that one too. I'll be honest though, I'm off the podcast right now.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I haven't either. Dude, I haven't listened to a podcast in almost 2 fucking years.
Jesus Christ.
2 fucking years.
Yeah. But then again, it's like I think I've listened to one in the last 2 years, you know,
Yeah.
or I listened to 2 in the last 2 years, but
It was when I had my trucking business. That's when I used to listen to a lot of podcasts. I'd be driving. I'd drive from Chicago to Kansas City, listening to nothing but podcasts.
right. I used to do that, but like I got burnt out on the podcast. I just never got it back.
Yeah.
There's a couple, like, sure, I listened to the Trump one, and honestly, I could have done without. That was not what I wanted to hear, you know?
Yeah.
It's just like, to me, it seemed like Joe Rogan was like, hey, Trump, here's a question. And Trump just went on about, like, his own direction. You know what I mean? It's just like, it was like, it just seemed like Rogan was trying to, like, get the ball rolling in one direction, and Trump wanted to get the ball rolling in another direction. And they just couldn't get aligned.
Yeah, so it's one of two things. Is Rogan not that great of an interviewer? Or is it just politicians are just always going to stick to script?
I think it was stick to script. I wanted to see Donald Trump like on Unfiltered. Like I wanted to see him as a person.
Yeah, see him eat a handful of mushrooms, something like that.
Yeah, he didn't. I don't know. He didn't have to go that far, but I would have loved to see that too. But like, I just didn't. It just seemed like he kept trying to maneuver every question into some sort of like way, or like he wanted to like maneuver it into a way that he could present it in his own light, you know. And it's just like.
Yeah.
And then Joe Rogan doesn't like that stuff, so he wasn't about it. He didn't want to continue to go down the road of that questioning path, so he went down another road of a different questioning path. It just seemed like it was an hour and a half of small talk.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and it was like Donald Trump, not Trump, but Rogan said something too where he was like, yeah, I just wanted to talk as people, and he said it talking in reference to another situation, right? Where I was like, oh, I feel like that might have been a hint to like the audience of like, hey, he tried to make this conversation as regular people. It just didn't happen.
Right.
Right. And that's what I felt. I felt, hey, this was going to be a big event. Rogan, Trump together being regular people. Right. So we could connect as like regular people, but it just didn't seem like that.
Yeah. There was no way Trump was going to let that happen.
Yeah. And that's
leading
like,
up to the election.
That was like, I don't know. That was just really disappointing. If I was Trump, I would have done the same exact thing, right? So I'm not really blaming the guy. It's just more of, I don't know. I just wanted to hear some more grab her by the pussy shit, you know?
No,
it's like, is that too
pussy.
much for a guy to ask?
No, not at all. You're not unfair in that request.
Right. That's how I feel. Like, you want to know what I think about it? Right. But here's the thing. I think we're all going to be better off here with Trump.
Oof, bold statement.
We'll find out in 4 years, but
No, I think so too.
yeah.
We saw the other side for 4 years.
Yeah.
And it's not good. It's not good.
It wasn't great. But here's the thing. I think in 4 years, we're going to be sitting here again during the election going, really, this is who we had to pick from.
Well, can Trump run again?
No.
No, he can't.
Yeah, he can't. But here's the thing.
Will his son run?
It's going to be even two bigger turds. You know?
Probably got like Gavin Newsom out of California for the Dems.
It's just the outlook isn't great.
Yeah, we'll see. They promised to shake shit up. Like, if you're a conspiracy theorist, like, I'm kind of on the edge. I'm on the edge of being a conspiracy theorist.
Right. I think you're kind of fucked if you're not. Yeah.
Right.